Alright, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a fantastic game. It is the best game I have played in years. If you guys know the channel, you know I absolutely love God of War Ragnarok. I am a long-time fan of Final Fantasy also myself, but this one is completely insane. Today's video, I am showing you how to completely have an insane farm for experience and AP. Basically, AP, for those who don't know, is what you need to upgrade your materia. And with this method, you are going to roll over the hard mode and all the rest of the game whenever you are done with the main scenario. My name is GhostofEtSeas, and today I'll show you how to become absolutely powerful. This is the fastest method I have found yet in the game. It's even faster than what we had in Final Fantasy VII Remake when we did the chapter selection. There is a little bit of caveats, but I am here to give you all the details. But just before that, click that subscribe button and leave a like and a comment. It helps so much and it's completely free to support the channel. Alright, so let's take a look at what we are actually going to need and what you will receive from this farming. This farm is actually going to take you around between 8 and 13 seconds per run. And the way to do it is to stack up the most run possible with the less amount of loading screens possible. The more loading screens you have, the less time you will be battling and getting experience. So it's very, very important to do exactly like I do in this video to be able to maximize your grinding time. This method is going to be available to you after you finish the 14 chapters of the story. So you will need to beat the game first to be able to use this method. But whenever you are done with the game, you also unlock the hard mode, which is basically all the other chapters, same chapters, but you have to do them in a harder mode. The monsters are a little bit higher level and you cannot use items for the whole while, which is a brand new challenge. And the thing is, you can get up to level 70 with this game. So you start at level 25, you can get up to, or level 20, I think, and you can get up to level 70. And it's really, really important to be the best level to be able to first unlock all the folios and all the aptitudes in your skill tree. But on top of that, being able also to rack up a lot of stat damage because there is a lot of single bosses that are going to kick your ass in this game. And this is not even in hard mode. Like, there is so much things to do in this game. It's baffling. So for this to work, we are going to abuse a little mechanic in the game which comprises of the battle arenas. Whenever you are in one of the battle arena, if it's in Gold Saucer or anywhere else in the game, you actually retain the experience and the ability points you gain from the actual fights, even if you lose the fights or if you give up on the fights. And this is exactly what we are going to do. We are going to take exactly the amount of time to kill almost all the monsters in the first round of this specific bout, and then we are going to reset right before killing the last monster, so we maximize the time of grinding we have for the least amount of loading screens we get. In this one specifically, we are going to face 8 monsters in the first round, which they are all weak to fire damage, and on top of that, they are basically really, really close to each other. So it's really easy to defeat them all really, really fast if you have the enough damage, so magic damage, and if you have the proper setup in the materia, which is also something we are going to talk about a little bit later in this video. Why is it important to actually reset right before killing the last one? Because if you go over the next battle, you need to wait around 20 seconds for the actual second battle to load in, and then press start, and then do give up. And from there, it's another couple of seconds, which we are going to get anyway if we do it from the get-go on the first bout. But it is going to cut about 20 seconds of only loading time, which is really good considering that we are only there for about 10 seconds in the fight. And you really don't want to wait 20 seconds only of a loading screen every time you go in and out for this particular farm. This is why it's so efficient and so fast. It's because we go in, we kill, we press start, give up, and then we press triangle to reset the actual first fight. It's really, really fast and it's fantastic. Let's talk about the setup you need in your characters, because this one is a 2-person bout, but the benefit is that every single character that you have in your party is also going to get the experience gain, even though it's not going to be the same amount. The only caveat is that you will not receive the full amount of AP for the materials they have on them, the ones that are not in the fight. But nonetheless, it is still better than doing, another of the fight, which has around 10 monsters in the first fight and 6 monsters in the second, which is basically a 6-person fight. So you have 2 teams of 3 people still in the battle arena in the gold saucer. But the whole time and the loading zones are really, really long, and it doesn't really work with the setup I have with Eris and any other character. So let me show you how this is the best way to get a lot of AP for your Materias and a lot of experience for your characters. I've basically got from level 50 to level 70 in less than an hour. So yeah. So what you saw right there was the first bout for 6-person. Like I said, you can use this, a little bit faster for the first one, get still 26 AP for the full fight. It's not that great, especially that we get around between 20 and 26 also on the 2-person bout, which is this video about. You saw, Cloud do his finishing touch limit. It was pretty fast to kill everyone, but at the end you still have to wait for another loading screen and then the other team to do also, the bouts. It's a little bit more complicated. So if you want to stick with my method, it's going to be way, way, way faster, because when you go in, you kill, you go out, you reset. Like no loading zone and no loading screens other than that. All right, so let's take a look at what you are going to need for this specifically. It is really, really standard. There's not a lot of materials that you are going to need, but there is, specific ones, and hopefully you get them. By the end of the game, you should have them anyway. But if you don't, try to do, the side quest to be able to get them. As you can see here, Cloud has the Sleek Saber because it's the one with the most amount of damage, magic damage that I could find. The enhanced expiratory metal also is good for the limits if ever you miss your fires. But other than that, you get the highest amount of magical damage on your weapon, whichever one it is. For me, it was the ceremonial staff and the Hades armlet for the 7 materia slots. Other than that, you can get the Choco King's cape for Eris, so she can get a full ATB charge plus the first strike materia. It's going to give her 2 charges at the start of the actual fight. So now I am going to show you exactly what you are going to need in the materia. First of all, it's a magnify with fire and ATB stagger plus first strike materia. You are going to need this for both of the characters. It's only 4 materia per character. All the other slots in the armors and in the actual weapons are there for your materials to be able to get AP, so you can put your AP up in conjunction with it. Other than that, this is the really basic thing you need: fire materia with a magnify link to it, and then ATB stagger materia plus a first strike materia, like I just put onto Cloud right there. All the other materials that you are going to provide in the actual empty slots are going to be there to be able to get AP. That's the only thing. As you saw here, I put AP materia up to be able to double the amount of AP you get from any battle. It's really, really good to, pick up the purple materia, so with the stat boosts, or even the blue ones that you need, like Elemental or Warding. Elemental is really, really good at the 2nd and 3rd tier because it nullifies the linked materials magic, or it absorbs it. It's really, really good. As you can see here, I've maxed out pretty much all the yellow ones, maxed out a lot of the purple ones and the green ones. So I'm still doing this just to get the maximum amount of APs. But like I said, really the core thing is first strike materia with ATB stagger materia, and then a magnify with fire, so you can use fire on all the actual monsters at the same time. Be sure to have the Choco King's cape for Eris and the first strike materia, so she can start the game or the battle with 2 full ATB charges, which is going to be very, very important for the setup we have in the battle. All right, and now let's talk about the execution. What you want to do is basically have Eris conjure the arcane ward on her at the beginning, and at the same time command Cloud to hit Fyra on every single character. When you do that, Eris is going to have her second ATB bar up, so you can use Fyra on the remaining. And by basically using Fyra and staggering every single character, once you use it, Cloud is also going to receive 2 full ATB charges and a full limit charge. And then you can do basically another Fyraga, wait for Cloud to actually send it, and as soon as it hits the last enemy, you click start and you press give up. As soon as the other screen comes up, press triangle and then rinse and repeat. So as you can see here, Cloud is going to receive his full amount of ATB plus the actual limit whenever he staggers, and that is because of the stagger ATB materia, which basically every time you stagger an enemy you get back your ATB charges. And on one of the weapons that we have is basically whenever you stagger an enemy you also receive a limit charge boost, which is really good to have in any other situation where something happens. You can use finishing touch because we're also using the accessory, which gives you a level 3 limit at the beginning. You don't have to use any synergy commands to it. So once again here in slow motion, as you can see, Arcane Ward is basically bound to my shortcuts on L1 and X, so it goes right away on Eris. As soon as the ward is there, I've already commanded Cloud to do Fyra on everyone. When the command is done, Eris is going to have her second ATB charge, so you do also Fyra with the Eris magic. What happens in the Arcane Ward, for those who don't know, is basically it doubles the magic cast. So if you cast Fyra once, it's going to actually cast it twice. If you cast Fyra once, it casts it twice. That's why it's so powerful to have Eris in the middle, having Arcane Ward as soon as possible. As soon as the bout commence, L1 and X, you choose Eris. It's going to create the ward. At the same time, you command Cloud to do his Fyra attack on every single character, and then basically it's just a chain reaction. You get your stagger back, you get your ATB back, and then you can just perform Fyra and Fyragas back and forth until the bout is done. Right before you get hit or you hit the last monster, press start and reset, because if not, you're gonna wait another 20 seconds just to get to the next battle. So with this method, you are looking for a really fast amount of experience and AP gain really fast. Like I said, I think it took me about an hour to be able to do 20 levels from level 50 to level 70. I haven't even started, the hard chapters yet, but I'm still already at full level. I've taken all my materias to almost all the levels. Some of them are really higher than the others. Some take 10,000 AP, but do not forget to use the AP up material, the blue one, in conjunction with any other materia to double the amount of AP you are going to receive. That's his ability points. And this is it. If you are willing to grind it out, you can grind for an hour and you can do lots and lots of experience and lots of AP materia. You will need it to defeat Gilgamesh, to defeat all these summons, basically the banished summons or the banished version of the summons that are going to be the gatekeepers for the fight against Gilgamesh. And then you have all the other bouts in the game, plus a hard mode on the simulations. You will need it if you want to do anything for the end game of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like I said, my name is Ghost of Red Seas. If you do like this kind of content, please leave a like, a comment, and a subscription. It is a free, fantastic way to help this channel, and there is also memberships on this channel now. So if this is something that interests you, it will help you. It will help me very much, and I will be grateful forever. I'll see you guys in another Final Fantasy VII Rebirth video. I think it's going to be the beginning of a great endeavor.